Hello everyone, Douglas Waltz, Old Man Comic Book Reviews, coming to you at the place with the best lighting in the house. That lighting last week. Oh. We have a giant stack of comic books. Let's get to it, shall we? First up is issue 32 of The Amazing Spider-Man. Let me get you the deets, because I do believe people have changed on who's who. Zeb Wells is still our writer. Patrick Gleason is our artist. It's another one that's got the John Romita tribute in it. And Craven and the Red Queen are doing the Sideways Mambo and have decided to try to bring Norman back to being the Green Goblin. I'm seeing a problem here. Last time it was Doc Ock trying to make Norman Osborn the Green Goblin. Now it's Craven trying to make Norman Osborn the Green Goblin. The artwork is really cool, but I'm kind of tired of these bad guys going, we just need the Green Goblin back. Maybe he's just done. The ending is creepy. This is a really good book, though. If you haven't been getting on the Amazing Spider-Man train, Zeb Wells has been knocking it out of the park with a couple of, things. Next up, we have Marvel Unleashed, because it's their pets. Unleashed, get it? Miniseries, I think. I don't think they're going to give us a forever on this one. We have written by Kyle Starks. Artist is Jesus Hervas. And Craven the Hunter has been hired to kidnap Lockjaw to open a gate. So these pets have come to save the day. There's Pizza the dog. There's D-Dog. If you have a soft bone in your body, do not read this. The origin story of D-Dog will break you. Speaking of dogs, that was Manny if you didn't hear him. Red Wing's in it. The cat, the Flurkin cat is in it. I think that's everybody on the cover. Lockjaw, Red Wing. Oh, Doctor Strange's ghost basset hound will show up sooner or later. That must be D-Dog and the cat. And the Thor frog is on here. This was a great issue. Like I said, though, if you're a softie for dogs, you might be in trouble. And it was really well done. I like this series. I don't see where they would possibly do that. If you hear water running, it's not really water running. Flower didn't need a drink of water out of her dog dish until we started recording this, because that's how things work. Next up, we have number 5 of 7 of the Unstoppable Doom Patrol. Last issue was sort of lame. Just people talking kind of thing. Dennis Culver's our writer. Chris Burnham is our artist. And now they are going on an assault against some metagene place. DC loves the metagene. All of us have one. And they're always some bad guy trying to activate it. And in this particular instance, they try to hire Niles Calder because he knows things that they don't. They make a woman named Meta-Woman. And that goes south pretty quick. As I said before, any noises you hear in the background are the dogs. The dogs who, until we started shooting this, I might like to reiterate, didn't move a muscle. It's much like when you have a video camera on. No one will walk in front of you until you turn it on. But it's okay. They're good dogs. Moon Knight miniseries City of the Dead number 2. We got that. Start again, just in case. And let's see who our culprits are. David Pepose is our writer. Marcello Ferreira is our penciler. Our inker is Jay Leistein. When last we left Mark Spector, he was in hell, the City of the Dead, trying to save a young man from the Jackal guys. And he finds Layla down there, who's supposed to be dead. And there's all sorts of other surprises of people that Mark has sent to the City of the Dead. This is really fun. It's a good book. For just sheer oddity, we are on issue 3 of King Kong: The Great War. We have our writer is Alex Cox. Artist is Tommaso Bianchi. We are in the year 1987, and a U-boat is shipwrecked on, well, Skull Island, full of dinosaurs, people getting killed left and right. I'm kind of thinking these guys are Nazis, so I'm having trouble feeling sorry for her, if that makes sense. I'd like more Kong in my Kong War, one panel really is kind of, and they've been doing this for the whole thing. I'm going to need more Kong in my Kong War. He's on the title, he's on the cover. We need more than just the cover and one panel. Once again, that's issue 19 of Jungle Comics. We got a great cover there. And we have a new thing, Treasure Quest, story by David Thomas, art by Andrew Richmond. This is episode 1. Zan of the Jungle is up to part 13, The Queen of the Forbidden Plateau, story and art by Giuseppe Pederale and Robert Renzi. And for the first one, Treasure Hunt, we have a young lady for the Smithsonian looking for treasures so that they can protect them. And because she gives the right answer, she has been given unstoppable jungle powers. There you go. It's fun. Zan of the Jungle, he finally saves his woman from the evil guy. So Cinda gets saved by the evil man with a gun and is left to the crocodiles because he can't stop trying to murder everyone. So we'll see. He's not dead yet. He's pretty durable. Alright, number 8 of The Dead Lucky. And that is written by Melissa Flores. Art is French Carlo Magno. And BB has found a ghost. A ghost from her past that has a new identity, new powers. So somebody else with superpowers. And we get a little bit of a flashback of what actually turned her into Dead Lucky. So that was kind of interesting. As always, they do deal with PTSD. They always have open lines for people who need to call for PTSD veteran hotlines. There's a recipe again. Wok fried carnitas with chili garlic glaze. Sounds pretty tasty. Recipe's pretty simple. Carnitas are usually pretty simple. So, good book. I liked it. We're finally done with the Captain America storyline in the aptly titled one-shot Captain America finale. Our writers are Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly. Artist is Carmen Carnero. And Bucky's plan to get rid of the Shadow Capital is working pretty well. I like the part where Steve Rogers has to face this ultimate evil that's been at this for a very, very long time. And we finally, after all of these decades, get to find out what his shield's for. That was kind of neat. And what they do to the bad guy is even funnier. So, and then they wrap it up all nice and pretty. We are getting a new series. It doesn't say when, though. Number 1, of course, with J. Michael Straczynski and Jesus Saez. Probably coming up pretty soon. But yeah, it was a good finale. I'm glad they wrapped everything up nice and neat in a bow. Captain America comic book the way it should be. We'll finish out the pile of comics with number 8 of Darkwing Duck. You have to say it like that. And then I have the option of going, let's get dangerous. Amanda Dybert is our script. Carlo Loro is our art. Launchpad, last issue, lost his compass. So Darkwing has to team up with Gizmo Duck, and they have to go to the Antarctic, where the giant villain headquarters is, to try and get back Launchpad's compass. So that's the whole thing. Now, the thing that bothered me about this issue, it's just nitpicking. So they're in Antarctica. That's fine. They are in a giant maze, and in the maze is a tree. Okay, no. First of all, there's not a tree. Darkwing uses the tree branches to make snowshoes. Snowshoes are a thing that you attach to your feet so that you have a wider stepping base. They're made out of wood or wicker or woven together. However, he's a duck. He got big flippers. Doesn't really need snowshoes. But you know what? So no trees are in Antarctica, and a duck doesn't really need snowshoes. Penguins don't use snowshoes. They got smaller flippers than a duck. So, anyways. Sophie, Fiona, you came over Saturday because it was Boba's birthday, and we made lots of Chinese food. We went swimming. We had a little picnic. Yeah, we had a good time Saturday. It was a great time. Yeah, so it was good to see you. We're hoping to get another swim day in before, September rolls around and says, "Hey, remember when it was 90? Now it's 4." Because it's Michigan. And as we always say in Michigan, if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. So for the rest of you, I always tell you this. I'll tell you every week. Go find a comic book shop. Find something you want to do with comic books. It doesn't have to be, here, I'll do the thing for you. It doesn't have to be superhero comic books. It could be comic books about, a giant monkey living in the jungle, being a weird superhero with PTSD, not using snowshoes because you're a duck. This week, there actually are many more superhero comic books than usual. Kind of got pointed out there from the normal stack, but that's okay. And you remember, you can always go to the library. They have apps on your phone that you can get to read comic books. There's manga if you don't want to read American comic books. European comic books are a little different. Those are fun too. So they're all out there. You just find something that you like to read, a comic book, go to your local comic book store. I always like to tell everyone I go to Fanfare in Kalamazoo. If you haven't been recently, they did move across the street, and it's a huge space full of comic books and other stuff. I don't know. I'm there for the comic books, really. So until next week, I will see you then, and go read a comic book.